evening. This is Pop at Myshire Farm. We're going to do a question and answer. Zach's holding the camera tonight, so he's game to answer questions as well. I'm going to show you around a little bit. I guess we'll wait for a second and see who's going to join us this evening. And I have no idea how this works, so I don't know if you're sitting there waiting on us or how it works. But we can do another little tour inside. I think we've done some stuff since the last time we toured it, and I do want to show you how the gutter system works. We can turn on the water now, and what I hope to show you tonight is the what we're calling the sewer treatment plant, which is probably a bad choice of words, but that's what we're hoping to accomplish here. We've been working real hard on it for the last week, and real anxious to show you all that. So we'll go through inside again, and then that'll give a chance for a couple people to pick up, and then we will go around back and show you what we've been doing here the last couple weeks, which is moving a lot of dirt and putting a lot of pressure treated in the ground. So without further ado, is that okay with you, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then while he's showing you around and showing you the progress for the week, just make sure you go ahead and start asking your questions now. And then I'll just ask him when we sit back down, so you're not waiting.
That sounds good to me. Alrighty, so for new people, this is our new barn. Scan all that a little bit, Joe.
Yeah.
This is our new barn, and
Florida says hello.
It's built, of course, for the quail, and we've been working on it since November of last year. So it'll be pretty much a complete year before it gets fully operational. So this is going to be the shipping and receiving. Some of the things that we did here, we have a slate baseboard, a metal drip edge here. This is the fiberglass reinforced plastic, which is FRP, and then this is a vinyl flooring. It's actually an inexpensive stick down flooring, but we use the same glue for the FRP to glue this on. So if it holds up here with all the weather changes and stuff, climate changes, it'll be a really good test to see if this is a good application. But we wanted to keep everything where it can be clean, cleanable. This here is going to be our shipping desk. This is a little lower down, so when we're putting this packing on it, it'll be a little easier. Here's some cool file cabinets that we got for free. And again, this stuff is free cabinets, $75 Corey on top. $100 sink, $90 Amazon sprayer. So, I just want to put it in perspective here that we're not spending a ton of money, except for the ton of money we're spending. So, I do want to show you this. We haven't really done anything in here, but we have got the water circulation going far enough that I can show you how the gutters are going to work here. So this will have a switch over here to turn this gutter on. In between these windows are the actual 3-tiered cages with the conveyor belt hanging from the ceiling, so we don't have any obstructions to push all the poop down in and create the conveyors to drop it down in here. And then I can kind of plug this in and show you how this thing works. So we have a 2-inch pipe here, and we actually filled this up with poop, and it took it right away, and my text read, "Holy crap, it worked." So we actually filled it all the way full of poop, and that did stop the water. So just a little bit of encouragement, away it went. So the question is away it went to where? And that's what we're going to show you tonight, is where that poop goes and how we hope to recirculate this water only for the purpose of flushing it down again, because we don't have a whole lot of water here on the farm. We have 4 wells and a lot of cisterns. So, okay.
And I do see your guys' questions. Again, if you guys added on, I think we've had quite a bit of people add on once we said it. Go ahead and start asking your questions for Papa the Builder. And then once he's done with the little tour of the update, then we will, I'll get to all your questions.
And then we'll poke our heads in here. This is, of course, the new hatchery. We got a new brooder going now, which is really working great. We keep saying, actually the video is done, but there's a lot of little tweaks that we had to do to make it work. So we're going to add those tweaks to the end of the video, and then so I don't know if we're going to try to do that before the video or after the video, but be sure you watch at least till you hear the tweaks that we had to make it actually work. We didn't really do anything wrong in it, but thank goodness that's all left. We got to put a door here yet, which is that door there. We're getting a lot of hot air coming down, and then of course we get a lot of hot air going up in the winter time. So I hadn't planned on putting a door there, but it's going to have a door. So the design of this water treatment plant here that we got going is just kind of a collage of input that I've gotten from my cousin, who's a civil engineer, extreme, and recently retired. I've got a doctor guy, a doctor of poop, and he's helped me with that.
How long did you go to school for that?
Doctor of poop. He's a doctor, he's Dr. Dave. And then I got a guy from UD that I've consulted with, and then I'm leaving out somebody else. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, this has been a lot of meeting of the minds as to what we want to try. This is very experimental at least, but we're optimistic. Everything, getting all this stuff to where it's level enough that it, you know, we're trying to use gravity to move this water around as much as possible. And so we're shooting, we got a lot of transits out here to try to get things right. So here's kind of our mess of a construction site. And yeah, and this has all happened here in the last couple weeks. That tractor is, and you know, my advice is don't try this at home, you know, because it's just been crazy. But we're, so here in that tank over there is half of a tank. It is 12 foot below grade, and then 5 or 6 above. So what's that, 18 feet tall, and that's half of a tank. We have a full tank laying down here. You can just barely see the top of that pink. That's the end of the tank, and the beginning of the tank goes all the way to the building. And it's a 10,000 gallon tank. I've got an access hole there, a vent hole there, and then this hole here, as the water that you just seen go down the gutter, it comes into that tank, and then that's our what you'd call your septic tank. And then the water will come out of that hose there. That big valve is just laying in there. It'll come out this end here. We have a leach line that goes that way and every which way. And you can kind of see the black there. And then that'll hopefully be always shut off with that big 4-inch valve. And then a 2-inch line goes into this ditch here and then goes into these 5 settling tanks. Some of these tanks will have aerators in them, some of them won't. Half of them, I think 2 of them do, and 3 of them don't have air. That water then pours out onto the gravel that's underneath all of this, and it goes to a sub pump, which is that white pipe.
Hold on, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know if we can.
I couldn't get
Look
okay.
down on it.
Yeah.
Because there's a sub pump in there.
Problem is, I don't think they're gonna be able to hear you all the way from over there.
So the water then goes through the gravel, which is a little more filtration, into that sub pump, and then that sub pump goes to the tank to Zach's left, which is the holding tank that I turned on as another sub pump. It'll actually have two sub pumps in it. Can you guys hear me or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so that water then goes through this filtration system into the holding tank, and then as I turned that sub pump on to show you how the water went down the gutter, and there it goes down and round she goes. So one of the hopes here is that we're not making an E. coli factory, and there's some things that we can do to maybe improve that, but we really don't want to get into a chlorinated situation because that would destroy any of our composting that might go on in the septic tank. So there's a lot of contingencies here and a lot of valves that we hope to be able to tweak to make this work. Again, this is nothing that we're suggesting anyone do. This is, we just want to show you how we're trying to, we have a lot of quail now. We're going to have a lot more quail with this new barn. And so managing the poop is a major problem.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how many you have. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've got 100 or as many as we do. Poop always becomes a problem.
It's a problem. But so this is how we're trying to manage it. It's certainly better than what we're doing now. We're composting it all. It doesn't compost very well but luckily we have cows and cows that eat the grass, and we have hay that gets left over. And so between the cow poop and the hay, we can compost it, and it makes fantastic compost. I don't really know what we'll do with the slurry that will end up into the septic, but we maybe we'll have it shipped off, sell it to a farmer. Maybe we'll try to dewater it and go back to the compost, which would be the ideal scenario, but we'll see. So anyhow, let's get back to where we can answer some questions. And of course, Zach is willing to answer questions that are above my pay grade as well. So.
Most of the questions are yours. In fact, almost all of them. So
this has been a really big job here. This is a 8 foot in diameter, 17 foot tall. Getting that thing in the hole was.
Well, we're also I don't think you did say we're putting the gutters.
Oh yeah, we did, and then we've got this barn here that we'll put gutters on, and it'll dump into this guy, and then the other barn, the old barn, will dump into this guy as well, and then the overflow to this whole system comes off of this tank. So any water that we're putting back into the leach line will be diluted by the rainwater, and so we're hoping that we get an acceptable parts per million, even if and when we are discarding the extra water, because we got a lot of roof here, and we haven't had rain here in probably 12 days, so it's
Of course, the week before that it was a tsunami.
yeah, for that we have a ton of it. This is our fourth 10,000 gallon tank on the property. One of the 10,000 gallon tanks is our root cellar. We have another 10,000 gallon tank. Excuse the mess, everything's kind of a mess here on the construction. But another 10,000 gallon tank there. There's a turkey.
There is a turkey.
There's a darn turkey. We got a hand pump there, so if we don't, thank you, you're right on cue. Attaboy. And we have a hand pump there so we can water the cattle even if we don't have any electricity at all. So that's kind of fun. We did get all these cabinets put in, which took all of the cabinets that have been stored in the butcher shop, which has just been made it terrible looking in there. We finally got our butcher shop back, which is nice. So let's see if we got a few questions that I could answer. Back there and sit down and oh man, I tell you what, I'm pooped out. It's just been a lot of work. That pressure treated lumber weighs 1,000 pounds. So you're gonna have to sit back there to read the questions,
I will.
or can you use my phone?
I could probably use. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. We're good. All right. So, Van from Florida says, "Hope all is well."
All's well. Having a great month.
I'm not gonna try to say that name. It's cool, but hello and roll tide from Louisiana. South Carolina's here, and then Pinky says, "Hey guys, I'm new to quail, but have always had chickens. Was wondering if quail ever get egg bound."
Egg bound.
Mhm.
That's a Zach question.
Yes.
We've had dead quail. I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked last week about how I'm one of the only people that say that protein is not a huge deal once they start laying. It's because if they are egg bound, sometimes that just happens. But if they are egg bound and you're losing quite a bit due to it, it's usually a calcium issue. Calcium usually is calcium and fiber usually have them struggle to lay the eggs, or it's the exact opposite and they're laying very soft eggs. So check out your feed, but it is normal to lose, not a lot. It's normal, and the older they get, the more they'll struggle. Ryan asks, how do you build an incubator?
Well, we have built 3 incubators and 3 lockdowns, I guess now.
I'm moving you guys so I can take a seat too.
Okay.
Okay.
And how do you build an incubator in 2 minutes or less? We'll be doing a video on our new incubator. I'm going to build another Gigantor, which is a double cooler with sliding doors. I prefer to use sliding doors so you're not sucking the heat out of it every time you open a door. I can say that geez, I'm really not prepared to answer all these questions, but gosh, I can't remember the controller that we've settled on, but we could go in there and take a look. I am using just a hot plate for my heat source now, and seems to be working out pretty good. And then of course you have to have your fans. So, and then we have expanded our humidity control quite a bit with some fanage and some pumps, water pumps that's going over a humidity filter that you can replace, and the new brooder that we have, everything comes out. All the fans come out to clean it, and all the electrical stuff comes out. The only thing that's left in there is some waterproof receptacles, and I can't answer that question, but I promise you we'll have a video on the lockdown, and then the only thing other that is different is the rotation, and I use a linear actuator for that to rotate the
Yeah.
sorry, it's just, it has to be another video.
Yeah, that's a hard question. The next 3 questions are pretty much the same thing. But what I would like to add to that is I'm 95% sure that Papa did do an incubator video a while ago. It was not a how-to, it was the parts of it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure we posted that, so I would check that out, and I can look for it as well. If I find it, then I will repost it on Facebook, and things like that. And then I guess because there is quite a bit of questions of that, like he said, the lockdown is done. We just have to make some updates to it. And then why don't you tell me what about the 3 most important factors to think about when you build?
build an incubator?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me think here. Of course, you'll want to know, you have to have some idea how many eggs you're thinking you're wanting to do. That's going to drive it. The idea of using these little wine coolers, I think, is an excellent idea. We're using pop coolers and milk coolers to build ours because we're a little bit bigger scale. But the first couple I built the cabinet. Plywood's certainly okay. So your size is, important. That's kind of why I like to use as hot plates, because you can simply turn it up a little bit more if you got, a bigger or smaller box. And they're very inexpensive, less than 20 bucks. And if you plug them in to a receptacle and they burn out, you plug another one in. I was making fancier ones with fancier heating elements, and that seemed counterproductive in the end. Hot plate does the same thing. So, and computer fans, the three most important things, air circulation, and your humidity, and your temperature. That's your three most important things. So how you get that is, and we'll be happy to show you how we get those three things.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, Janie, I believe, says hi from New Zealand. I would like to know how.
New Zealand?
Yeah.
We love New Zealand.
I know. I have not shipped to New Zealand. I would like to know how to build your incubators. We went over that, but I didn't want to leave you out. If I understand right, y'all build y'all's own incubator. If that is right, would you be willing to do a how-to video? We will.
We will.
Also, do you have quail on wire soon as they are born? If not, how long do you wait?
Well, the 2 weeks ago, I guess we did a video. We showed you, it was on brooders. It was the Sunday night Q&A on brooders. And we do have a wire screen with a poop tray underneath our brooders now. But we use the blue, what are they called?
Automotive
paper towels over top of a quarter by quarter. Nope, there's a half by half. What's half by half?
Half by half.
Half by half. The same screen that we have in our layer cages and grow out cages. But you put the blue paper towels over top of that. White paper towels don't really do you service. And we leave the paper towels down for 2 weeks. And then they're big enough that you can take the paper towels up and all is well. And, so your first clean out is just moving the paper towels, and your next clean out is going to be with the trays.
Correct. How much land do y'all on?
We are standing on 30 acres, minus what I gave to one of my daughters for her house.
And 2 people said yes. Oh, I think that's when you said, can anybody hear me? Are you connecting an aquaponics system to your waste system?
Aquaponics, of course, infers that you're planning on growing fish. And the aquaponic part is to clean the fish poop. So we have quail poop, and maybe the question you're asking is, yes, there is. We have space that we can do an engineered wetland. I'm kind of planning on, in that big pit where the gravel is, I'm planning on having a very small engineered wetland there. There's actually reed, it's called a reed. I haven't really went too much further, but Dr. Dave can help me with that. That actually will take away the E. coli in the water. So there will be that aquaponic type filtration system employed in our quail poop purification attempt. So that's a fair question. And whether we can use that water for growing plants is yet to be determined. The E. coli issue is going to be an issue. But one of the things about when we're composting our quail poop is a lot of it has the wasted feed in it, which has a ton of minerals in it, and trace minerals is what they would refer to that in the agricultural business. And of course, they don't put trace minerals back in the soil. And our compost, we had it tested, and it's off the chart in every respect. And not only did it have all the important three, but it had a ton of trace minerals in it, which is, you know, something that could be very valuable to organic gardeners. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting that far along the trail.
Nate says, hello from Alabama. Do you guys use flip insurance for your business or just a standard general business insurance?
Flip insurance is a term I'm not familiar with.
I'm not either. So I would say no.
But yeah, it's just a general business insurance that we have.
Tucson, Arizona. Jesus says hello. Hatch Poultry said, we just ordered 800 jumbo wilds from you this week. You did.
Wow, thank you for the order.
Yep, and I will be shipping you out as soon as possible, Saturday. I got a couple orders to get out first. Nate says, I built two. I'm assuming he's talking about the incubators. One was a fridge and the other was a standard freezer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The coolers that I use, I paid $125 both times for these double door coolers. I have one single door cooler that was free. They're well insulated, they have a glass door, and I do like the idea of having the visibility with the insulated glass. And I like the idea of the sliding doors so you're not sucking the heat out. But yeah, I've got a freezer over there that's will likely end up being something. But I will put a big window in it. So that's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yep. Rabbit Homesteading says, hi from Michigan. Just ran into you. Sounds like some great knowledge here and look forward to watching your videos. The speaker is kind of quiet though right now. That was a long time ago. I think that's when we were moving.
We were moving around. Sorry about that.
Would you be willing to do a live genetics Q&A? I would be willing to. I am not a genetics expert. I can tell you what to put with what and what you would get. But as far as all the fancy lingo stuff, I get advice from other people. But I can tell you, you know, if you put this and this together, what you get, or things like that. So
yeah, we have had some great input on that topic, and Jenna has been pretty savvy, Zach's wife, as to how that works, and we've been super blessed on being able to come up with some of the things that we have and being able to refine them. We're not there. I can't even remember how many generations you have to have before you can say you have your own line, but we're not quite there. But
we're getting there.
We're getting there, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. New Zealand has a closed biosecurity border for birds, so sadly you won't be able to ship here. I didn't think I would. This also means that we have a small gene pool. Jumbos do not exist here. I could help you a little bit with that.
When we first started out, we were going all over buying jumbos. We got jumbos, and we'd run over there, and we got jumbos, and we'd run over there and buy some. And the truth of the matter is, nobody's got jumbos. If you got even if we give you our jumbos, which are jumbos, and we're very proud of our jumbos, but you can mess jumbos up in 2-3 generations, and you will not have jumbos either. So when people say, well, we're selling our Myshire jumbos, that's great, and you know, we want you to sell Myshire jumbos, but if you're not growing jumbos correctly, then you're not going to have jumbos. So, and that would be a good video for Zach to do, or a good Q&A for Zach to do, but you can mess jumbos up.
And we have.
And we have.
We did it with our sex links.
Yeah, we were trying to develop our sex link where you could tell them by color what sex they were going to be.
And we did not do the right records.
Yeah, we destroyed our jumbo line doing it. And
Now it is back, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
We got it back better than ever.
Yeah.
In fact, we just put in the next generation 2 weeks ago. No, last week.
Yeah. And we had some dandies. We had some real keepers in that book batch. And
Yeah, in fact, that's a really good idea. So next week we will do Q&A on that because like he was saying, jumbos can be jumbos and then they're not. So yes, I don't know. I guess it was not last Friday, but the Friday before that, George and I weighed every single new generation jumbo that we had, and we had 2 out of 350 hens that did not make weight.
yeah, and that's the thing. You got to be willing to, if they don't make weight at a certain age, then they're not jumbos, and they got to go. You got to sell them for something else or use them for something else, but you can't keep small jumbos.
Right. Now we use a lot of well, we did, I didn't have any this time, but in the past, the ones that didn't make weight, we used for our new sex link cage. This time I only had 2 hens, so I didn't do that. But if you do that, you gotta really make sure that you know where everything is.
Yeah.
Because that's where we went wrong years ago.
Yeah, but we'll, that's a great idea. We'll do that because it's, I guess what I'm saying is if you don't have jumbos, you can make jumbos.
Yeah. And I will be happy to help you with that next Sunday.
Great.
Nate says, I've been looking for the glass door cooler. I like that option better. We do too.
You know, if you're small, they several videos out there on using little wine coolers, and fantastic.
Yeah, it's just as big as a GQF.
Yeah, especially if it's broken. You know, you don't want to buy a new one. You buy one on Craigslist or whatever.
Right.
And,
Gas station going out of business.
yeah.
Do you feed the chicks the same feed as adults?
That's a Zach question, but I say that's no.
That's correct. We do not. We have 2 different feeds. We have one that is high in protein, and then it is a custom blend from a PhD game bird professional person that came here to the farm. A bunch of them came here to the farm. We talked to them on the phone. We told them everything we wanted, so they did a specific blend for us. And then the layer feed is a lot less in protein, but much higher in other things like calcium and fiber and so on. And that is a Caternix blend made by a local feed mill here in, I don't know where they're at, somewhere in Ohio, close, 20-30 minutes away. We get it delivered. But I do like that idea. I might try to get a hold of them and see if they'll come out and do a Q&A on feed.
That'd be awesome.
That would be kind of cool for you guys. Have you guys had any luck selling to retailers? If so, please provide your experience. We actually went into a lot of depth with that. One of the Q&As, whatever Q&A says selling, advertising, and marketing and more is the video that we spent like 78 minutes talking about how to sell and how to make money and profit off of quail. So I would check that one out. But if you have specific questions, you can always text me at 937-760-7282 and I can try to help you out. We are not USDA. We did look into it. It's different in every state, but in Ohio, it was absolutely pointless for us. We had to have a USD inspector come out when we butchered, and it was like $140 an hour for them to watch us, and we would just never make money, so we don't do it. We found other avenues.
Yeah.
But the other video is all about finding new avenues and better avenues to do stuff. So I have jumbos from you. I would greatly appreciate information on the proper way to breed to keep them jumbo. Will do. That'll be the video for next week. After Van says, after stop straying the eggs, do you use bombs in your incubator?
I think he's talking about cleaning.
I think so too.
No.
No. But you can kind of go into, well, why you made everything come out, which you will see. The video is coming, I swear. It's just everybody's really busy right now. And I don't know if it'll be coming out this week because we have a Myshire sponsored party here on Sunday next week. Oh, no.
Oh, no. He'll be gone by then.
Yeah, they'll be gone.
They'll be gone by then.
So this week is really going to be, it's jam-packed with stuff that we already do and extra stuff we have to do and everything. But within the next 2 weeks, we will get that video done. I promise.
Yeah. So we use, are you still using the 50/50 Listerine?
Not on the eggs. On the incubator, yes.
For the clean out, we use a Listerine in water.
50/50, yeah.
50/50 to clean the inside of the incubator and lockdown. The lockdown that we're presently using is very difficult to clean. I didn't do a very good job engineering it. But this one I did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely phenomenal.
And with everything coming out, it's just going to be so much easier to clean out.
And through the years, we all have one thing in common. We all agree that pressure washing is the best thing to do with anything. If we can pressure wash it, we're doing it.
We like the pressure.
So, we've got a couple more questions. So if you guys have any, let me know now. Ask your questions as far as building anything. He can pretty much answer. And then once the questions are done, we will sign off with a couple of notes. What does the average weight an adult quail eat per day? I did do a video on that. I'm pretty sure I remember the numbers, but that's a pretty sure, not confident, so I'm not going to say that. But if you do look it up, we've got a quail, it's called Quail Math, Part 1 and Part 2. And we go into that. And then actually last week's video, still the Q&A video from the selling, marketing, and advertising, we went into price so that you knew how to price yours. So I broke down how much they eat, how much it costs, and everything like that.
And this is going to be an opportunity now for me to slip in what I like to say every time that I'm on a video. Everything we do here, I mean, you're welcome to steal whatever you want to steal. This is why we're doing it. But we're not suggesting that you build your brooders like this. We're not suggesting that you put in a sewer treatment plant. We're not suggesting any of this. Well, why we're sharing these things is because we want you to have what the transparency is Zach's word. We want to have the transparency of how we are breeding and feeding and taking care of your quail. The quail that we would hope that you buy, the eggs that we hope that you would buy. We want the transparency of how we're doing it. And the reason we go to all these extremes is so we can do it efficiently and as easily and as cleanly and as easy as possible, fast as possible, so we can keep our prices reasonable. Because if we were hand cleaning all these cages and we were expecting to make $10 an hour, everything might get a little more expensive. So that's the reason we go to the length that we do, is so we can have, because people always want to say, well, you got the economy of size, there's an economy of scale. But when you got 3,000 quail and you're trying to clean them all out by hand and feed them all by hand, there is no economy to scale. It's just 3,000 times more work. So we have to improve on how we're doing things, just so we can have better pricing and
we don't burn out.
And we don't burn out, and the transparency of your product.
Right. And I mean, to his point, and that's a perfect point, because I still spend 50, 60 hours a week on something to do with quail, because we've got tax information, we've got selling, we've got customers, we've got, you know, different forms to sell and everything like that. So it's, without this stuff, I don't know how we would do large scale.
Yeah.
If not, we don't raise eggs to $4 an egg, because,
Right.
you know, we wouldn't have as many. So, do you rinse the water after using the 50/50 Listerine, or do you let it air dry? You might just, I don't let it air dry. I wash it out again and then dry it out with blue paper towels.
Good.
I don't know.
Power wash.
Yeah, once I start power washing, I probably will let it air dry. Have a great night, great info. Would you mind sharing your cost per egg to produce? We did do that video, and I know I keep directing them. It's just some of these questions, like how do you build an incubator, or the cost of eggs, or things like that, it's just a really long explanation. But we have 15, 20-minute videos that are just dedicated to that if
That's
you look
your
at our
math, right?
page.
Quail math.
I believe so.
Quail math 101.
I believe so. And if you guys have questions finding a specific video you're looking for, feel free to text me. I'm not trying to just pawn you off on finding it, but it's just, that is going to be a lot more information, because I was much more prepared for that answer then. And we did the math to show you how to get your own numbers, because, you know, our feed is different than your feed cost, and our, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I showed you how to get your own math done. Not a build question, but have y'all ever raised quail to release in the wild, such as bobwhites, to help boost population? If so, did you have any luck doing it?
No, we haven't not. Um, the bobwhites are a completely different breed animal. It's just, you know, it's a whole different process, a whole different, it's different, and we have not. And of course, Coturnic quail could never be released in the wild for any number of days. So we have one that, though, it's been flying around here quite a bit, one of George's.
That's a bobwhite, though.
Oh, it is a bobwhite?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. So, no, we have not.
Yeah, I released a couple males a couple weeks ago, just because I didn't feel like butchering, and they came back, and I had to let them back in, because they were like, this is not for me. So they're not the outdoorsy kind. All right, so if there's no other questions, I've got one more. He'll answer this, which is a very good question, a great question to go out on. And then we'll see you tomorrow for our topic for next week. Alyssa is extremely sick. Actually, all of my kids are pretty much extremely sick this week, but I promise that 7,000-foot snake that I was talking about will be in the video tomorrow. So she couldn't get out of bed today.
How big is it?
I don't know, it's big.
That her snake?
Yeah.
Oh, it's big.
I don't know, we'll find out tomorrow.
Is that right?
It's big and thick and scary. So I was gonna show him last week, but it was feed day. And I'm like, no, we'll wait. We'll wait. So, how often does the incubator rotate, and is it on a timer?
It is on a timer, and it rotates every 2 hours.
Very good answer. Fast. Thank you for all your time and information. I have watched those videos about pricing. How much above cost should you sell to be profitable? I can't find the answer. That is a very good question, and I will be happy to answer that next week if you tune in to our next Q&A.
If you can remember what that topic was.
Yeah, we talk on Facebook, I believe. So if you want to message me that question, I will make sure that I am prepared for it next week.
But I will say this: we hear stories of people selling eggs at outrageous prices to a very niche market, and so you know, you fancy your restaurants and that, this and that. So again, you might sell the, you know, we sell the same egg for yin, yang, and bang. So you know, you want the bang as much as you can get. So don't start down at the bottom. Try to get your highest price and work your way down, as opposed to your lowest price and working your way up.
Well, and yeah, again, we can talk about it next week just because I'm not prepared, I guess, this week. But that's why we've never actively looked for like large corporate orders, because we would rather do the work and get maximum profit
Yeah.
than sell everything for,
Yeah,
3 cents
pennies
above
over
cost.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just not worth it.
there's people, we talk to big timers, and they're, oh yeah, we sell ours for a nickel a piece, and it's like, okay, I think we'll just stay in our market.
Right.
No, I don't think there's any one answer to that.
It's just best for, we would rather do the work and make 50 cents an egg to $1 an egg for hatching eggs than sell eating eggs to a big corporate chain for 4 cents above profit. It wouldn't be worth it to us.
Yeah.
And we enjoy doing what we do. We like the videos, we like talking to people, we like, we've learned more from you guys in the past couple of years, and getting involved than anything else. So, last question. Have you ever sold sizes eggs? We have them from 9 to 18 grams. We are thinking of pricing the biggest for more.
Sure, they're pricing them
Per
by the
size. Oh, sure.
And if you were selling them to eat, you would probably want to do that. Absolutely. Just
It's a
like
great
you do in a
idea.
grocery store. Small, medium, and large, extra large. Our jumbos sometimes lay too big an egg for customers. A guy in Puerto Rico said, they don't fit in my incubator, now what am I going to do?
Right.
So,
Right. And then obviously, if we have 500 jumbos laying, I would say on average 12 to 15 a day are going to be double yolkers that I can't ship out to hatch because they won't hatch or they won't fit into the foamers. So, we use those for eating eggs or other purposes, usually eating eggs. But again, quail business is like bubblegum shrimp. I mean, we have people, I have a lady that buys our incubator eggs that are not fertile, because not every egg is going to be fertile, and she blows them out and decorates them and sells them. And then we've got people that want, our old hens, for whatever purpose. And then we've got this and we've got that. So, I mean, there's a million different markets. I hear a lot of people always talk about how do you make it big quick? And that's not been our experience. It's not. It's been a slow, steady climb. Not we got that account.
Right.
We've got a lot of big accounts now, but it didn't happen overnight. It happened through our reputation through years. I like that answer.
Fair enough.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
That was a good answer. All right, but yes, Bob, I would say that is completely reasonable to, and he said, the small, medium, large, and jumbo. We can't fit them in the plastic containers. We actually got jumbo containers, and I was a little skeptical, and then they came in, and I tried them, and they fit. They fit about 85 to 90% of all my jumbo eggs with them clasping. So we do have jumbo cartons that you can buy if you want to give me a call. I've got 24 counts and 30 counts.
No sales plug there.
Well, I mean, he opened it up, so. I think that's all the questions.
All right.
It is, so.
Thanks, guys. And we really appreciate you guys tuning in. And one more thing for YouTube. And this is Popper, Builder of Things at Myshire Farm. And we're on Facebook, myshirefarm.com, and wherever else Zach says we are.
Yeah, we try to be eBay, Facebook. We've got our quail supply auction group on Facebook we have a lot of fun auctioning off our eggs and having contests and stuff like that. Yeah, just check us out.
All right.
Just came in from building my cages. I missed it. It's okay. Guys, you can rewatch it because I'll be posting it. And we will see you tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.